welcome to another edition of 100% LCFC TV, and welcome to our brand new virtual studio. I'm here again with Simon Mack to discuss and debate all the latest ingoings and ongoings with Leicester City and bring it to you, the fans. So what a start to the season, Simon. Everton at home, it was very exciting. It was a big crowd.
Very big crowd. Pretty much sold out. I thought the atmosphere around the stadium as well as in the stadium was electric. It was a level above anything we saw last season. People were full of the excitement of being back in the Premier League after 10 years, and I felt that the side that we put out lived up to that expectation as well on the day.
Yeah, I mean, a real buzz around the King Power Stadium. First time my kids have experienced it. Unfortunately, they've had to experience League One, Championship, years of not so good. Okay, last year was good, but there's nothing quite like the big time.
No, not at all. And credit to the Everton fans as well for coming down and being good sports and enhancing to the atmosphere as well. I thought they were good value for their side of the bargain. But we made a lot more noise. We were supportive to the team, even when we were up against it. There was a couple of times in the game where Everton were really sort of drilling down on us, but the fans stuck with it and kept positive. And I think the whole thing was a real positive experience for the club all round.
Yeah, I mean, we've been speaking to an Everton fanzine called Royal Blue Mersey. They're a good bunch up there. But some of their comments were very, very positive and pro-Leicester after the game, where they said they thought that the team had played very well, and they were very impressed with the King Power Stadium and the fans as well. They said that the Leicester fans had created a fantastic atmosphere that probably had helped spur Leicester on to that late equaliser. Yeah,
without a doubt. We were really, really good, and there was noise not just coming from the usual places. The cop was getting involved, and all the others were getting involved. It was a real party atmosphere, and long may it continue.
Yeah, I mean, I sit up in the family stand in P Block, and it's the atmosphere up there. I know there's lots of kids up there, but they're all standing up there waving their scarves, and they are roaring the team on. So, I mean, when Ujola scored in the first half, it really was starting to rock. And, you know, again, my kids said what an exciting game. It really did feel like it was, you know, like a bit of a cup final for them. But I said, you've got that to look forward to every week this season. So, you know, I think the fans really will enjoy the big time.
Yeah, and it's capturing all the kids' imagination as well, because you've got all these big teams, big stars coming down to King Power, and there's nothing more to get the imagination flowing than seeing those big stars, and we've got a lot coming as well with Arsenal and Man United and whatever, and Chelsea this weekend. So.
Absolutely. I mean, there was times in the game on Saturday, especially when Drinkwater came off and Everton had scored that. It was a fantastic goal they scored.
Two fantastic goals.
Absolutely. When Drinkwater went off, our hearts sank a little bit. Yeah. We started to think, with James missing as well, central midfield. But Andy King and Hammond both came and both played well. I think King possibly was contender for man of the match. Played a great game, like we know he can, and I'm sure he was pleased to get his opportunity.
Yeah, and did you see the Sun player marks out of 10? They gave Andy King 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10 for Andy King?
For Andy King, which I thought was one of the most ludicrous pieces of reporting I've seen in a long, long time. I don't know whether they actually paid attention to the game or what they were doing, the Sun. But
well, I was really pleased to see Andy King play. I thought he did well. I thought it was nice to see a lad who's been with us for many, many years. But I thought he had a tremendous game.
I think. You know, our team is so heavily based around the spine, which includes Drinkwater and James quite often as well. To end up with both off the pitch before half time, and having to battle it out with Hammond and King was going to be a real challenge for them. But I thought they did a fantastic job between the two of them, and they didn't let us down in any way. And you know, we didn't lose anything as a result of it. I didn't feel, and obviously we're going to have to go again that way this weekend. Because neither of them are going to be fit. Nigel's already confirmed that. So we're going to go with those two again at the weekend. So they've got another massive task on their hands. But it gives you a little bit of confidence having seen them play together on Saturday against Everton, that they might actually be up to the task. And
another local lad who's been with us quite a while, Liam Moore. Sensational game. Again, lots of talk in the press. The Everton fanzines were talking that their star striker Lukaku really was in Liam Moore's pocket, and Wes Morgan. Both of them were outstanding. You predicted that they would both play. They looked really, really solid.
I thought Wes Morgan looked like a top Premier League centre half on Saturday. I really did. I think he totally outbattled Lukaku and just drove the guy into the ground. I mean, they paid £28 million for him this summer, and we'll be expecting big things from him. And to keep him that quiet for 90 minutes was an impressive feat for the two. So I think, for the time being, Vasilevsky's place, I think he's going to be on the bench. And
Morgan just didn't panic at times.
No.
There was times where their players looked like they were going to be cleared through, and he just calmly reversed it round, and he didn't hoof it out. He just passed it out and played like he did last year.
Yeah, it was the same way, but up another level. Because as we saw with the 2 goals, I mean, I think we've all probably seen the goals a few times now on the telly with the replays, Match of the Day, Sky, all the rest of it. And you look at both of them and you think, well, what can you do about that? I mean, McGeady's goes in the only place that it could go. It goes in a postage stamp in the top corner. We had 5 players back. Schmeichel was covering the near side of the goal. To actually pick out the top corner was almost...
I mean, some criticism on Schmeichel from some people, but he came out and blocked it superbly and then was really left in no man's land. And like you say, he picked out the only spot in the goal he could really put it in. And 9 times out of 10 he would have hit the crossbar, it had gone wide.
Exactly. And then Naismith scores, and it's off the top, off the underside of the bar. It's so, right in the very, very top corner that there's nothing. I mean, this is the Premier League. I remember I texted you at the time, welcome to the Premier League, when the 2 goals went in, because that's just typical Premier League. Whereas in the Championship, we probably would have won that game by a couple of goals.
And that's going to be the difference this season. Is that they did create quite a few potential chances, but when they got the chances, they just finished them. So we know we're going to let some goals in, even with some great defending. But it's exciting to see that we didn't give up and that we can create goals and create chances. And Ujola in the first half did exactly that. It wasn't necessarily the best goal you'll ever see, but he battled for it and then popped it in.
Yeah, and he worked tirelessly as well. When the ball fell to him, he blasted it in the back of the neck. I mean, that was fantastic to see. And obviously, it's really important for a new signing, especially a striker, to get off the mark as quickly as possible. So to get a goal in his first game is great. But his all-round game, the way he was running, lost causes down, winning the ball, battling, and doing the dirty side of the game as well, I thought was really encouraging. And he does look, at the moment, like a Premier League striker to me.
We noted he won a lot of the headers, a lot of the aerial challenge, which was pleasing to see. He's quite a big chap as well.
He's a physical option. And I think that's probably why Nigel was so keen on getting him in that he's got ability to finish, but he's also got that aerial strength, and he's got a physical build about him, which means he's not going to get brushed aside so easily. I
still look forward to having Vardy back, because there was times where Everton were playing it around at the back, and I would have liked to have seen... We know Vardy would have chased those down and harassed them from the front.
Yeah. I mean, as you said before, Vardy sets the tone for our team when he plays. He's like our talisman. And he gets the crowd going, he gets the crowd into the game with the work he does at the front, and he sets the attitude tone for the whole team. So, he's a big miss, but again, he's back in training apparently today, along with Albrighton. They're both back in training, so he's not a million miles away from being fit. But he's not going to push Eloja out the team at the moment, and I mean, Nugent's playing well, so he might have to find his place on the bench for the time being. But having said that, that brings Chris Wood into the mix.
I was just going to talk about Chris Wood. I mean, Mahrez slid through, I thought, one of the passes of the weekend to put Schlupp through, but we all saw what Schlupp did, unfortunately. Yeah. But I think having Schlupp on did start to add a bit more tempo to the game, to add that pace onto the left, and then that helped create some space for Wood. And didn't he take that goal calmly?
Yeah. I mean, Chris Wood was going to Wolves, then was going to Norwich, apparently. Then apparently goes and sits down with Nigel and says, I want to stay, I want to be in the Premier League, I want to fight for my place, I don't care what they're offering, I want to be here, which is, for me, fantastic to hear, because it backs his own ability. It shows that he wants to, he feels he's capable of doing a job, and he certainly proved that on Saturday. I mean, he came on, you could tell straight away, he had a determined attitude about him. He got straight into the game, straight up to speed, which is not always easy for a sub, to come in and get involved straight away. And then, the ball fell to him, and he just buried it. I mean, you can't ask any more than that, really.
No, he took it very calmly, slotted it straight away. Howard in goal, he's no muppet. Exactly. So that was a great finish.
We spent the summer watching Howard bailing USA out all through the World Cup, left, right and centre. He's one of the highlights of the World Cup for a lot of people. So, he's no mug, like you say, and Wood just absolutely floored that. And, I mean, who knows? Who knows where it's all going to go? But the way I see it, personally, in my opinion now, is I'd much rather see Wood stay and us not sign another striker, than lose a striker and sign a striker and lose Wood. I'd much rather see him stay because I think he's got the right attitude.
Yeah, totally. Well, let's hope that he does stay. I think he's going to now, and I think maybe we do need to add to the squad with a new striker, just as backup. We've seen what injury can do very quickly to a squad the size of Leicester's. But thanks for that. I think that rounds up our review of Everton. Great result, 2-2. We'll take that. We would have liked the win. We nearly had a chance to do it after Wood had equalised. But let's look forward to the next game. So that's it from 100% LCFC TV today.